but sometimes you can see the interesting angles that walls are being brought in. Sometimes they're being brought sort of straight up and down, and then sometimes left to right. Hook comes in, but Yuan actually gets hooked himself. That's not what he expected, and LOL able to pick him off straight out of the mix.
He gets him like actually through the Reinhardt shield as it just dropped, and they're going to continue for the push. The Maywa going to come in to actually block them off, and well, Trust, you're not really going to escape this one as Miro is going to be able to secure the kill. And again, Eska, 75% built up on his Blizzard. We pointed this out when they played against Rogue. He seemed to have always had Blizzard every single fight, and we're seeing why. Even Roy has his up as well, so both Mays really hitting the shots.
Yeah, I mean, Roy was probably at liberty there just to throw, right-click up to right-click into the mix there, but maybe a little bit more efficient on the damage still. Eska's going to have his up at roughly the same time. I don't think Roy can exploit any sort of timing window where he has Blizzard and Eska does not. And we saw Eska often throw the Blizzard right towards the back of the pack on the attacking side, but now defending, we'll have to see if he just plops it down around his feet and works through it. Shot comes in now as well. We do hear the Blizzard come out pretty much straight away. That's from IG.FIRE here, and Eska falls already. He had the ultimate, but 1-7 picks him off with a hook, so this is a great opening for IG.FIRE to work their way through. Off towards the side, it's the Transcendence coming up, and Dean coming through with an boost here, but he's going to be surrounded and taken down.
And Dean just gets completely overwhelmed, and Roy's going to actually be taken up here, ideally by the Roadhog. He's going to pull him back in. Litai-Jean, he's actually going to get Earthshot over the ground here, but Miros, he's still off to the side. He's still alive. He's looking for Lincoln. He has his ground search available. He's going to pull them together. There's no Transcendence. There's nothing to stop Lincoln from going down. He does it again. Miro with 30 HP survives it. And now you're seeing Yuan7 trying to come in, but he gets blocked up. He gets slept.
I'm done.
And Miro, this man, this is why I had him as the MVP in my eyes and one of the best Zarya's in the world. He has been phenomenal.
I am so done. Miro, incredible work there. Goes 1v2 with the Graviton Surge and still survives. Just working back and forth behind the Black Taxi there as well to keep himself alive from the shots coming in from YJP, who's getting completely outclassed in this match. Still, though, the Graviton Surge is available for YJP. But look at Miro. He's already halfway to his next one, Jason.
And he just used that last fight, not to mention Roy. Ooh, actually good, very smart wall out of him. Instead of actually going to his ice form, he puts the wall down, which actually allows his team to drop on top of this.
And prevents him from getting picked off.
Exactly, and not to mention these ultimates that Lunatic-hai has, they have to be very careful. IG.FIRE just going to have the Graviton Surge, just the Blizzard coming through, which is going to freeze up, I think, a couple of people as Eska gets right in there, even the whole hog being popped across the team. Lunatic-hai, they're going to take themselves another fight.
Oh, they're going to go aggressive as well. 1-7 going to get frozen, and Eska just saves the moment before putting a spike through the skull of the DPS player on IG.FIRE. Now, the point being contested, but as YJP gets himself a double kill, Eska out of nowhere from downtown does find the hit, finds the shot, and will be Lunatic-hai holding on again. The fact that they actually managed to win that last fight, losing Eska so early and Roy having his Blizzard up is just blows my mind now. But Eska's going to buy some time here, and you can see that Lunatic-hai actually seeing a long way back here. They're expecting some sort of aggression through the hotel, or maybe even the wombo combo.
Well, they got Graviton Surge, they got Nano Boost. Dean's going to charge straight through. The Graviton Surge has come through, and Roy put the Blizzard down on top of him yet again here. And Litai-Jean going to be a little bit overextended, but he's going to eventually go down to Roy. Miro able to pick up a kill, and Jae-Hong able to get Yuan7 down as well.
Earthshatter coming in here, Lunatic-hai now just trying to put a stop to this nonsense here. And Miro finds Tresor. Eska left to his own devices for the most part there, and we can see that Roy being tested himself. He gets pressured back, wall comes in. Lincoln, no, not going anywhere, mate. Oh, maybe he is. He gets the kill towards Eska there. The Orbit Destruction comes in, but now the fragile monk is going to be cut down by the numbers of Lunatic-hai, and there's 20 seconds left for IG.FIRE to get this point, Jason.
Litai-Jean switching over from Roadhog to Tracer as well, just switching to the last second change because they wanted to make sure to hold on to this point. But what does IG.FIRE have to fight with? They have they don't have the Nano Boost, but they do have the Death Blossom out of Yuan7, and Tresor, he's going to have an Earthshatter, but he needs to hit it perfectly. He needs to wait for the shield to go down. Dean has to be so careful to maintain it, and he's not going to catch anyone with it, but that's why the Death Blossom comes in. Yuan7 picks up 2 kills, but there's still people alive. Miro, the man we've been keeping our eyes on, has not been taken down.
Yeah, 1-7 now looking for Litai-Jean on that Tracer. Should be able to find on the Discord option, mate. This has been easy, but it gets cut down somehow. Lunatic-hai are holding on, and now we're in towards overtime. Litai-Jean coming back to the fight, and the Graviton surging. No, he almost had the pulse bomb, but he's cut down before he had a chance to use it.
And now it's going to be Toby off to the side, just trying to keep it contested. And it looks like finally IG.FIRE might have been up. Miro, he's actually still alive. He's in the hotel. The Maywa comes in to keep Roy away from him. Who's been nano boosted. He's going to wall them off. And the point is still being contested. There's still a man on point. Miro's still there.
Blizzard coming in there as well. Miro just charging straight on through. It's the tanks getting there. IG.FIRE struggling to hold on. Eska is finally cut down now. 1-7 recalling out to the backline here. He's found himself in a good spot, but he's walled off by his own teammate. What are you doing, Roy? 1-7 can't get back to the fight, but IG.FIRE can still take the point. A messy fight, and now they need to push aggressively and take advantage of the fact that Lunatic-hai are in disarray.
That was cut into 2 because I feel like we were in at least a minute or 2 of overtime as they're able to contest the point over and over again. And Miro just proving that he just is not easy to kill. Survivor with 30 HP, able to run around into the hotel, get those shields to recharge back up again. But Lunatic-hai grouping back up for another fight. Litai-Jean switching from Tracer, a Roadhog to Tracer to now Reaper. And it looks like Yuan7 has switched back to Reaper himself too, realizing they need to have this impact to be able to provide when these fights come.
YJP Does have his Graviton Surge available here. Just the only ult really there for IG.FIRE at the moment. They literally need to make some ground up. Only under 2 minutes left. Graviton Surge is going to come in. That's the one ult available for IG.FIRE. But Sound Barrier coming out here for Lunatic-hai, keeping them alive. Lee J-Tun goes down. Now YJP back through the backside. It's going to be another Graviton Surge, but this time coming from Lunatic-hai. YJP not caught into it early on. Now he is. He has a shield available for himself, so he feels okay about challenging down the opposing Zarya, and Miro is going to fall.
He's going to fall indeed. Even some great walls coming out of Veska, just not going to be enough to keep his teammates alive. The Nano Boost of Reinhardt might be enough here. Dean is just swinging for the fence. He's going to have himself Knight, and he's looking for more. Eventually, he wants something to take him down as he was Nano Boost, but Eska able to turn things around though. The Blizzard, oh no, they're going to be walled off. The Transcend's going to be enough to keep them alive, and even a wall from their own teammate of Roy does help prevent Lunatic-hai from going for the attack.
Roy had to bring it down pretty quickly after that one there. Eska managed to get another kill just in the backside, and Tressel now to flame strike forward. Another wall coming up for Eska just to try and buy himself a little bit of space and maybe time even to hasty retreat here for the Korean squad. And the Graviton Surge comes in. Roy puts up the wall and forced to bring it back down. They want to get some damage here. They want to get a wipe in this fight. Miro's going to be the first one to go down, and Roy gets walled up. He's bounced back off the payload here. Now looking for a few more targets, but Lee Taejun coming to the back line, has himself a nano boost there in, looking for the second support. He gets 3 in that fight, and Ru Jae-hong finds Roy.
And now 30 seconds left to go here. IG.FIRE have a long run back to even get to this payload, and Lee Taejun with the Death Blossom available. How are you going to surpass this? How are you going to get past this man? It might come down to Roy. It might come down to Knight to actually hit this sleep dart. Toby with Sound Barrier as well to help them survive. The fight does extend further even if a Blizzard does come down. But Roy doing what he does best, stalling for time here. And the Fire Strike actually giving a lot of ult percent to Dean, only at 20% currently. But Eska, Blizzard now available. Lee Taejun, no one spotted him here. He's going to come in for the back, so the Blizzard puts him in disarray, but the shields come in.
Oh,
no! He gets knocked to the back line, but he doesn't get a single kill. YGP's finally able to secure that, and Roy takes down Ru Jae-Hong.
Oh, that was very, very lucky that IG.FIRE didn't suffer more than they did in that case there. They're going to be pressured. It's the backline presence of Eska there. Not able to get himself the kill he was looking for as YJP able to cut him down before he really gets started. Graviton Surge available. YJP lets it go instantly. No surprises there, but he's caught together. It's one coming out from Lunatic-hai as well. All the Graviton Surges coming through. Now Miro just going to have to back away. Has himself a shield, but trying to take on 1v2. He can't. It's going to be YJP to cut him down. And the next checkpoint is looming here. IG.FIRE fighting tooth and claw. Will they get there? There's a Reaper off towards the side there, but Lee Jae-Tun can only really just stall this one out. He'll be cut down surely, but his team, they've had enough time to get here. He might have some backup, but it won't be enough. It's only be a couple players for Lunatic-hai, and eventually IG.FIRE are going to get that checkpoint.
No way Lunatic-hai should have been able to contest that at all, even with the Reaper stall for some time and Lucifer come to speed them in. YJP, with the energy he's been able to maintain now since these fights have been back to back to back, there hasn't been a lull in action. He's sitting there at high energy, so if you ever come in close to him, he's just going to tear you down. And now Lunatic-hai with no ultimates up, ready to go. With Lee Taejun again switching from Reaper over to Roadhog. All they're going to have is a nano boost, and Dean, he's looking for kills. He's going to have Earthshare in the midst of this. The wall's going to come in to actually prevent him from really doing too much as they're trying to cut them in half. You want 7, going for the Astral Payload, gets the pulse bomb on Lee Taejun, gets the kill, but Dean, he's been able to take down the Edda. Tressor's falling to Miro as well, and YJP's finally able to chime back in, but who's dealing with 1-7? No one's even attacking him really, except finally Eska with the headshot. That'll shut him down, and Lunatic-hai will hold.
40 seconds left now, and IG.FIRE need to come back as quickly as they possibly can. It looked like they were starting to thrive under the pressure and actually start to enjoy this very aggressive brawl that Lunatic-hai are putting in front of it. But now, they sort of run out of time, and time for fun is definitely over. There's a wall there. Yes, could probably throw that one up to start with you. He has himself a Blizzard, so he's getting ready to lay that one down. And there'll be good follow-up here from the rest of his team. There's going to be a sound barrier there. That might be enough even to cut IG.FIRE down. This has to work very, very well. 9-8 is cut out towards the back, and one trying to go forward, but it's going to be a sound barrier here for Lunatic-hai, and a Blizzard coming up. 1-7 drops out of his Wraith form into the Blizzard, but he survives it somehow. The timing works in his favor. It's traded 1-for-1. YJP going down. No Zarya here for IG.FIRE. That could hurt them here. Miro finds him. Oh, off the edge. Eska goes up for a long walk off a short plank here, and now the Earthshatter comes in. For Roy trying to get to the back line. He was almost caught in that Graviton Surge, but managed to dash out. Still, Lunatic-hai win that fight out, and IG.FIRE are cut short of their goal.
That was a lot harder than IG.FIRE probably expected. They went into overtime on almost every single choke point or checkpoint there. And the aggression out of both teams was non-stop. I felt we're in one long TDM there. It's a team deathmatch because they wanted to fight. They wanted blood. And every inch that IG.FIRE was able to get through, they paid for.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a hard-fought battle. And to be fair, IG.FIRE seemed to enjoy that to a degree. It didn't really seem to phase them to a great degree. The problem is they were just losing the fights. They were more than happy to play in this particular style, but Lunatic-hai, they were born into this style. They were molded by it. They didn't see a pleasant, slow-paced game until they were already adults.
And I think this definitely feeds into maybe both teams. But the problem is, like you pointed out, Lunatic-hai, like they're more than inclined to play in this kind of situation, to play with this fast-paced action, where IG.FIRE like to play more of like a standard game, like to play around the Ana a lot, necessarily engage without big ultimates, but they're being forced to adapt, and they're sure as hell doing it. Yeah, they lost to the Bonnie, very one-sided, but King's Row, they were able to come together and finally get 2/3 of those checkpoints done.
Very hard to cast that, I'll be honest with you. There was a lot happening on that half, and this is what we were already told. We were warned about this, is that the Korean squads do want to continue to push you. They don't really want to give you too much room to breathe. I mean, that was already evidenced, I think, from what we've seen on Umbani and even the game against Rogue here. And some teams just thrive in this chaos that they create. It's kind of the objective for them. They don't want to allow the enemy team to settle because they know that they themselves can work when they're in disarray. They have the mechanics, I guess they have the instincts to get the job done when it's maybe a little bit hard to communicate through the mess of action. And they use that against their opponents who, you know, often can't really deal with that same scenario here. So IG.FIRE, it was time for them to answer back here. They need to hold Lunatic-hai back before that point. The payload was held inside the foundry here, so that's the goal. And Lunatic-hai just needs to press ahead.
I think it mostly comes down to this first point here, Mitch. If Lunatic-hai take this within like the first 2 attacks, I don't know if IG.FIRE have the constitution to hold them back for the rest of the time into the final push, into distance. But let's see, Lunatic-hai going to the high ground, sticking with what they know. They got Litegjon on the Roadhog. They've actually been able to wall them off. There's been no follow-up because Zeska and the rest of his team have actually been walled off and separated by the enemy made by Roy.
Zeska takes a little bit more damage than they would have otherwise liked to and is forced to prematurely use the ice barrier. Shield being broken there for Dean, or at least it seemed that way. He actually dropped it for a moment to give a bit more ult percent over towards his Ana. Although it's night though, going to have the first nano booster coming up at this stage here. Shields are being broken left, right, and center, but Lunatic-hai are allowed to move on towards the point, so IG now have to respond to this.
They've actually been pushed back into the hotel, so they're going to go for the refight. The first checkpoint almost being taken. The Nanobus coming in, and the hook as well. It's been able to control the enemy Reinhardt so well. Dean eventually going to fall for this one, and Tress is just trying to keep his teammates alive as that Roadhog played by Litegjon is looking for some damage, but he's not able to get it in the midst of this.
2 nano boosted tanks in the mix here, but Eska only has eyes for Knight, and he picks him up there. Still a better love story than Twilight, I'll be honest, but Eska now having to back away. He's lost most of his team, and Lincoln is eventually going to put him to sleep.
Alright, so Lunatic-hai have to go back to the drawing board here. IG.FIRE able to hold on, but you can see the importance they have on this point. They threw every ultimate they had to make sure they can secure it. It's going to come down to YJP to hit a good graphic surge, but Miro's already been able to mirror him, and Toby has sound barrier available. IG.FIRE, they're going with the, well, we haven't pointed this out yet, but they're going with the Zenyatta and the Ana. They're not actually going for the AoE healing and the sound barrier, which we've seen Lunatic-hai going for, but the grab surge is going to be able to come through, but no kills happening off this because of the grenades.
It was in front of Dean's shield there as well, so Yuansa was trying to get behind the shield that was still up, but it was very, very difficult for him to do so. And there it is, it's going to be another nanoboost on towards Dean. He lays down the Lord, he lays down the hammer. Litegjon now going to come out with the whole hog, and Dean is, well, sort of behind. He's managed to pincer on towards IG.FIRE, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for him. Toby, waiting on his sound barrier for whatever reason at this stage, doesn't want to use it quite yet. He realizes this fight's already lost, and he's more than happy to build up and allow some ults to be burnt on the side of the Chinese squad.
Yeah, so IG.FIRE, with the Zenyatta pick that they have with Ana, they have a lot of damage onto a single target. So if Yuan7 gets pulled in, or anyone in general gets pulled in, even Tresser, you get discorded, you're going to fall, especially with Litegjon switching now over to Reaper. So a little bit of switch between the two, but it allows Lunatic-hai to play a lot more fast-paced, but that wall's going to come in. It's going to be countered by a nice Maywall coming in as well, coming out of Eska, and that's going to prevent any sort of fault for IG.FIRE.
Yeah, it's nicely played. I like how teams wall around the statue and use that sort of space, but Roy going to come in here with the Blizzard here, see what he can make happen. He goes very, very low, and Forster will spend most of the time actually encased in ice to get his health back. Eska steps back away from it now. He throws his own Blizzard in. This could be pretty nasty there as well, because it was Tresor who had the nano boost. Now he's frozen solid. Roy backing away, though, realizes his 2 tanks are out of action, and he himself might just be tested here as the sound barrier comes in. It's going to be Dina for 1-7 finds him. Roy's still alive, and he actually has a bit of freedom to look for Toby. Gets one shot, looking for the next one. Can't quite get it, but IG.FIRE still able to fend Lunatic-hai off again. And they could do this, Jason. 1 minute left for the Koreans to take this point.
We're going to have double Earth Shatter available. Litegjon getting close to his death boss on the other side for IG.FIRE. Yuan7 still sitting on the Roadhog. And Lincoln again, this man seems to have transcendence almost every single fight at night. He's going to have his nano boost in this fight as long as he doesn't get bursted down. But that Maywall coming through, he's going to separate the team, yes, but it's not going to be enough to keep them off. It's not going to be enough to force an attack out of IG.FIRE. 48 seconds left to go. We need to see something happen. Lunatic-hai needs to make momentum, and that might be it.
Yeah, he's going to try and go in here, but Lincoln, good response to that one. Knew the Death Blossom would probably be forthcoming. He's going to come over the top here for the Transcendent. Lincoln there, going to get squished up against the wall. Amiro finds, oh Lord, it's IG.FIRE falling apart here. Lunatic-hai finally get their foot in the door. They managed to cut Yuan7 out for the rest of his team. The Roadhog now is going to be cut down as he tries to back away. And they get the point, but Jason, there's not a lot of time left here. Bearing in mind, all Lunatic-hai need to do is finish this map. All they need to do, in fact, is get the second checkpoint at 35.1 meters. That's still well within the realm of possibility here.
And Lincoln's been doing so damn well, and in general, IG.FIRE have been spreading out to a good distance to actually prevent Body Grenade from catching multiple people, so the Transcendence can actually do work. This Blizzard actually coming in out of Lunatic-hai to try to catch him off guard. They're going to get 3 quick kills off this, so they're going to get some distance. They're going to prevent IG.FIRE from contesting at the archway, and does give him a lot of ground.
Look at this. Lunatic going so deep. He's going to try and catch on towards Knight, and he gets him. Wow, and still 2, now not 3, but only 2 people on the payload here, so it could be moving faster for Lunatic-hai. Still, good kills. They're going to feed themselves some ult percent, and they're also going to get themselves pretty much around this right corner in the top right of your screen. So, IG.FIRE, that's going to cause some desperation to be a factor here. Both teams have got Graviton Surges coming into this last fight, but a sound barrier might be the difference here for Toby.
I was honestly amazed that actually committed a Blizzard to that push out of Eska. Yeah. But getting Litation that close to his ultimate could be the big turning point here. If they have a clean transition into the second checkpoint, this could be huge.
Graviton Surge coming out here is from IG.FIRE, and 1-7's trying to claim this ledge for his own, but his opponents have all left. Sound barrier coming out now, and no, Yuan's not able to find anyone, although his teammates are. Roy finds 2 as Litation and Miro falling, and Yuan7 now just on clean-up duty. Lunatic-hai do burn a couple of volts into that fight, but crucially, Miro still has his Graviton Surge, whereas YJP does not.
They have the combo actually for Lunatic-hai. They have the Graviton Surge plus the Death Blossom out of Litation. IG.FIRE, I don't know, that was actually a really good fight from considering that Lunatic-hai have been able to put the pressure on in this phase, but more importantly, Lunatic-hai have such a long run back. It's been about 20 seconds, and they haven't even seen the payload yet again.
4 ults for the Koreans, though. That could be important. In fact, they might even just blow them all to get themselves a time extension here. That might even be considered worth it. They need to deal with 1-7 up on the ledge here. And that's the Graviton, but very, very instantly, Lincoln going to use that Transcendence. He managed to charge it up in the last fight here. Makes it hard for Lunatic-hai to break through in that first occasion. But YJP is cut down. Litation gets himself 1. Dean coming forward as well. With the man on your screen, the Reaper here. That's the goal. You can see the golden square. It's the 1v1. Surely not. Knight goes close. But it's a little bit too much to deal with. The Reaper right in his face, up in his grill, and getting that kill. That second checkpoint comes up for Lunatic-hai, and they've got maybe just under a couple minutes here to get to that square.
He missed. He's trying to go towards the high ground there, Litation, but he gets on the low. Doesn't matter in the end. He's just going to be able to escape. Actually, relatively being unharmed. The problem is you can see right there, that's the point they have to pass in with 2 minutes to go. That's going to be a long period of time for IG.FIRE to maintain their ground, to hold on to it, knowing they actually have the high ground lost already. They can't afford to have Yuan7 teleport up there because Litation will rip him to shreds.
It's first come, first serve when it comes to that ledge here. Blizzard going to come out there as well. We can see the Tresor charging on out. Gets a bit of damage, but not quite the kill so far. And Eska's able to respond to this one. He forces Roy in towards that ice form, and Dean takes down Tresor ultimately. That's the engaged player down for IG.FIRE. Graviton comes in. Roy trying to put a wall up here and do something about it. So far, not so good. Dean finds 1-7. Roy forced back now as well. He's not the main target of focus. He needs a little bit more ult percent, Jason. He needs to get that Blizzard out, and he has it. He's ready to go.
But will it be enough though? Litation going to the back of the lead for Anna, and Roy has fallen. The Blizzard has been put down to buy some time, but it doesn't matter. Lunatic-hai sticking to it, getting frozen in the cold. Will push the payload across the line, and Lunatic-hai have guaranteed themselves a spot into the playoffs.
Not only that, Jason, but they have themselves a 1-map advantage in that final winners match of the day. And that's 1 step closer to securing top seed in this group. Whoever challenges them is going to have to win 2 in a row. That's not easy. But great stuff there from Lunatic-hai, although that first point really seemed to be a bit of a sticking point for them.
Yeah, it did indeed. And one thing I'm going to point out, in the grand scheme of things, they've now qualified for the playoffs, right?
Right.
But more importantly, like you said, the 1-map advantage they have, because the team who comes in second place in this group plays AF Blue in their quarterfinal match.
My gosh.
The team who comes in first plays Vici Gaming. And what we've seen out of AF Blue, you do not want to play